review. We'll review the whole Mexico U.S. match and what it really means, and we'll talk about some of the individual play. Maybe we'll even get to Dempsey afterwards, and that whole kind of
Buckle.
Yeah, it's turning into something very It's an ugly lady right now.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, before we start, I was going to tell you that story about the DC Philly game today, where De Rosario made a penalty kick that would have won the game with like 2 or 3 minutes left, but Chris Pontius jumped the gun and encroached on the PK box, and so De Rosario had to take the PK over, which he missed. And then later on, in extra time, when Dudar, or near extra time, Dudar, I guess, was playing left back, or was it CB for DC United, he made a bad sliding tackle, and he got a straight red card for DC United. And Chris Pontius actually had the chutzpah, the balls, to walk up to Dudar and tell him he needed to play smart. As the poor guy's walking off the field with a straight red, he tells Dudar that he needs to play smart, when, as far as I can tell, it was Pontius who was the idiot who encroached into the PK box that, basically spoiled what should have been a 2-1 victory for DC over Philly. Anyhow, one of those...
I didn't get to watch the game because I was, working my final day of fair, thank God.
Yeah.
But it sounds, from what you've told me, and from what you've left out here, that sounds like there's going to be a mental breakdown between the DC squad.
There seems to be a mental breakdown because then after the match was over, everybody descended on one of the players. Both McDonald and Hamid descended on their own teammate for, I guess, not clearing the ball upfield in the last seconds of extra time, so they could get ahead on the ball and maybe get a goal. So he passes back to Hamid, and Hamid was just pissed off at this guy. And then McDonald jumps all over this guy too. I wish I could remember his name, but it was like they were going to beat his ass or something, and it took other teammates to kind of split it up. So
it's just sad because they started off so strong, and now they seem to be falling apart. I don't know if they are falling apart, but
I don't know. You would hope Ben could.
That's sad. I hope they truly fall apart.
Oh, you do, yeah.
I do.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't. Yeah. One less good team in the playoffs, maybe. I think they'll still make the playoffs, but
one less solid team contending for the playoffs. Put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Well, we know Phillies. They're still stuck near the bottom. So.
Yeah.
But really, they outplayed DC for most of the game today, honestly. So anyhow, the U.S. game. A lot of people going ape shit about this. They think, and it was a good win. I'm not going to...
We've got it. Let's before we start criticizing or doing anything, let's go ahead and give the credit to Klinsmann and the squad. It was the first victory in Azteca.
Yeah. It's a big deal.
Flat out, hands down. Can't complain about that. That is absolutely wonderful.
Mm-hmm. It's great. It's
got
great.
That monkey off our back.
Yeah. It was absolutely awesome. I enjoyed watching the game. But, I just caution people not to get too out of control quite yet, because this doesn't mean... It means that we can go there with our sort of A- squad against their A- squad and do fairly well and come out with a victory in those kind of rough circumstances.
Let's describe fairly well here. We pretty much sat on the defense, let Mexico maintain most of the game, and we took advantage of our opportunities.
Right.
I think what stood out in that game really is we had Cameron, who played like an absolute beast.
Yep.
And we had Howard, who came up massive at the end.
Yeah.
Howard was great. MVP was the entire Mexican offense, who couldn't finish anything.
That helped.
They maintained the ball. It felt like 90% of the game, although I think it was some like 60-something% of the game.
Right.
But they maintained the majority of the ball, or control of the ball, but they just could not produce anything.
Well,
until the very end of the game, until the last 10 minutes, and then that's when we really started weathering the storm.
Yeah. Well, Twelman, I thought, Tight Shirt made a good point about Chicharito. he just looked tentative to me. He wasn't really going after it.
That concussion, that's what he was talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dark saying that.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree. I mean, he did look that way to me as well. And if anybody would know about concussions, it would be Twellman. Yep. But you're right. I mean, Cameron was great. I thought Adu played well right next to him.
He was a little shaky for me, but I mean, he played well for a center midfielder thrown in as a defender, as a center back.
Right.
I thought he did well as a center back, seeing how he's not a center back.
Yeah. Well, that whole Castillo Donovan left wing was pretty useless.
Yeah.
Castillo got beat quite a bit.
Well, you know what he did? He allowed the cross too many times.
Yeah.
That was my only fault. Only problem with him was he kept allowing the cross to come across. But in all honesty, you got somebody like Cameron who's playing as well as he was. Maybe we should just allow those crosses to come through because they weren't really connecting with anything.
Yeah.
For the most part of the game, up until the last 10 minutes of the game.
They connected with Cameron's head. That's where they connected with. And then the few times where it looked like maybe Chicharito could do something with it, because believe me, there was that one header he should have put in. He missed the whole goal. The other funny thing at the beginning of the game, of course, is once again, this was on ESPN if I remember right?
Correct.
They get it wrong every time, the lineup for the United States. Every freaking time they have the lineup. They had Donovan playing striker. In fact, they interviewed Donovan before the game and said, aren't you excited to play up top with Gomez? And I think Donovan just looked at her like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'll try to answer the question. And then, they had Beckerman playing left midfield. And you knew that was wrong as soon as it was up on the screen.
Yeah, well, when they had Don up top, he's always played in the center mid. Well, not necessarily the center mid, but he's played in the midfield.
Like a CAM role. But, I mean, he typically...
In all honesty, most of the time he's always pinched off to one side. In this situation, he was very much a left mid more than he was more of a center mid.
Well, he certainly wasn't a center mid. That was Jones and Beckerman's job.
He hugged that sideline like nobody's business.
Yeah. And then Torres played as sort of a reserve striker or a CAM behind Gomez. Mm-hmm. And that was a big waste of time for everybody.
Not really the best position for him, to tell you the truth.
Well, isn't that the position everybody said he should be playing?
Claim everybody, not everybody. Some people claim that's the best position for him, but he doesn't play. Plays more of I believe he plays more of a box to box, not even a box to box, but he plays a distributor. I agree, but he plays more of he sits back further.
Yeah.
He doesn't sit that close up to. In all honesty, he has more people to distribute than just to Gomez.
Yeah.
So maybe in this situation, it wasn't that Torres played poorly, although I think he did. Yeah. Maybe he was just put in a position to fail.
Could be, especially if you're playing Williams on the right, who I thought also did a very mediocre job the whole first half. So,
what I want to know what's up with Klinsmann and constantly playing him on the right-hand side.
I don't know. It seems like this might have been a good opportunity to bench Beckerman and let Williams and Jones start out there, and then start somebody else out there at right midfield.
No, put Donovan out to the right and start Shea. Give Williams a chance to play the position he actually plays.
Or start Beasley. Or start Zusi.
Or Beasley. There you go.
I mean, I would have taken any. Beasley would have played left. You could have played Donovan on the right. Or likewise, you could have played Donovan on the left and played Zusi on the right. Or as you said, Shea on the left and Donovan on the right. But Williams, again, he's not
a winger. He's not a winger. And you could tell in his how he plays the game. He's very much a defensive-minded player, although he's a center midfielder. Defensive mid, but you could tell how he plays. I mean, when he got the ball in our back right corner, he had his back turned. Yeah. But when he had the ball in the back right, he shielded the ball perfectly. He waited for that option to distribute back out. I think he played it to Johnson, who then played it to Beckerman, who then headed it for a corner kick.
Yeah. Beckerman, that was a weird one. That was really weird when he headed that or just put that straight out of bounds for a corner kick. I was baffled by that.
It threw me for a loop. I was like, wait, did that just happen? Well, we gave away too many balls throughout the match.
Yeah.
Donovan kicked too many balls that were 10 yards behind the player he was trying to kick it to. Yep. We just gave away the ball too many times. But the only positive behind that is that so did Mexico. Mexico continually kicked that ball out of bounds for us. I don't know if they just felt bad that we were playing like that, or I don't know.
I don't know, and that's why I was saying earlier. Let's not get out of control because we really didn't play that astonishingly well. Gomez, I thought, all being there all by himself, I thought he gave it his all game long. Had a lot of respect for him. Jones as well had some moments when he just held on to the ball too long and didn't get rid of it, and the ball was stripped from him. But then again, maybe he just didn't feel like, well, who am I going to pass it to here? Donovan's playing like crap. Williams doesn't really belong where he is. Torres can't even get open. So I don't know. He just ended up a lot of the times kicking it up to Gomez, or kicking it back.
Gomez, I've got to ask.
Yeah.
You think it was a PK?
Which one are you talking about?
When at the very beginning, like the first couple minutes, he got his jersey pulled.
Oh, I don't think they're going to call that. Not that early.
They were not going to call that. I agree, but
was it?
He got his jersey pulled. I think he may have embellished it a bit.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why he didn't call it, is because there was some embellishment there. But I personally would have liked to see Gomez, try to stay up and try to get to that ball a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think he put on a shot, but I think as he was shooting, he was falling backwards at the same time, which made it not a great shot.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it really was the other guys that came in that sort of saved the day in a lot of ways. Not that I expect, Orozco to be near the goal like he was. I don't even know how he got up there.
About that. No, yeah.
How did he get up there? I don't even know. Why was he there? I can't even remember. Why
he was following. It was a throw in deep, and he was following the play up because he's playing right back.
Yeah.
And Klinsmann likes his wing backs to get up into the attack.
Yeah, because he was way up.
Oh yeah. So the ball went to the keeper, got distributed out, went to Shea, and Orozco was there.
Yep.
And it was just one of those things that he was in the right opportunity.
Maybe I expected Zusi to be there, but to also have Orozco there. I mean, I'm not knocking it. I'm glad he was. I'm glad we scored, but
I looking at the starting 11 lineup. I looked at it and I'm like, wow, we've got like an entire team plus Gomez of midfielders.
Yeah.
You look at Johnson. He's a left back, but he plays left mid for the United States a couple of times. But he's played it for his club team. He's mainly played left back, so we'll give him a pass on this one.
But he does play midfield for. I mean, he has been playing left back for his club too. But he's also played left midfield, so you could say he's a midfielder, right?
You got Adu playing center back, even though he's a center mid. You have Cameron, who's a converted center midfielder.
Yep.
/ striker. I think he's played a couple games striker, or maybe that was just pushed up whenever Houston was down.
That's what happens. They just throw him up there at the end.
Theo, who's played left mid for his club, and I'm sure he's played left back from time to time. I really don't follow his career that much, but I know he's been playing left mid for some time.
Yep.
You have Beckerman, Jones, and Torres.
Yep.
You have Williams out wide. You have Donovan out wide.
Yep.
And then you have
Gomez, who's also played midfield.
Played midfield in his career.
That's correct.
I was just like, do we not trust our depth in defense?
Maybe,
or maybe this is the grand scheme where we're going to have a lot of people who are very comfortable with the ball, but not necessarily playing the positions they play.
Well, that's certainly true with Williams.
It's always seen from Williams.
Yeah, and always seems true. Somewhat. Maybe it's just that Torres can't find a position he feels comfortable with on this team. But Howard's really the only guy that's never played midfield, at least not that I know of, on the whole team.
Hey, it might happen.